Beauty Bay have dropped another new 20 pan limited edition eyeshadow palette, and I have been collecting every single one of them, so of course I was going to be picking up this one as well. So this is the Dark Lights eyeshadow palette, and it dropped a couple of days ago. I would have already had my review up had every not taken captive my package. It has now been delivered, and seeing it in person is a little bit different to seeing it online. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit more disappointed when I saw the pictures. In person, it's prettier. However, there's a lot of shimmers. So I am predominantly a matte loving person. The more mattes in a palette, the more different things that I can create. I do like having shimmers in a palette, but mattes really for me are what can make looks versatile, and it's something that I enjoy having more mattes. Now in here, out of the 20 shades, we only have 7 mattes. The rest are shimmers, and I think that is extremely shimmer heavy. Now some people are gonna absolutely love that. I do appreciate that. Some people like a shimmer heavy palette. That is not me. And for me, this definitely has far too many shimmers. Now, some of the shimmers, I haven't actually swatched this as I'm talking about it right now, but usually what happens in Beauty Bay eyeshadow palettes, some of the shades are topper-like shades, some of them are the really putty-like shades that are difficult to pick up on a brush, and they're a little bit creamier and more emollient, and some of them are more the traditional type of shimmer formula. So I think that's probably what we're getting with this palette. We do have a lot of depth in this palette, but we do have a super light matte shade, thank goodness for that. But of course, because it's called Dark Lights, the theming and everything that they're going for, I feel like that's probably why they've chosen such a deep colour story. So okay, I understand the theming. Really though, did we need this many shimmers? And they're all fairly similar to each other in some way, shape or form. I feel like when Beauty Bay started releasing these limited edition palettes, the colour stories chosen were fantastic. Whoever was doing it at the time and picking the shades, absolutely, the curation, the versatility of the shades, inspired. The last couple of palettes that have been released for quite a while now, I've been very disappointed with one way or another, which is a shame because I used to love collecting them and picking them up. I'm still going to continue to do so because I like to review them for you guys, and that is one of the things I like to collect for my collection because, like I say, I have every single one of them. So I'm going to do a look for you today with this. It's going to be dark, it's going to be moody because these are the tones that I have to work with. But for now, let's jump into the close-ups and the swatches. This palette down below for you in case you are interested in picking it up. But now I am going to prime my eyes with the new Beauty Bay eye base that I picked up recently. I'm not sure if it's a new formulation or just new packaging, but this is in the shade number 2. So I'm going to plop this all over my eyeballs and then we shall get into the eyeshadow. I noticed as well that Beauty Bay have actually brought back their Wilderness limited edition palette. I'm not sure if it's still currently available this second that I'm filming, but I did see that they brought it back for people, and that colour story is one of the best that they have done. That was incredible. So yeah, I'd much prefer, if I didn't have it, to pick that one up than this one because I love that palette. Okay, so because I love colourful eyeshadow, that is what we're going to be doing. So the colourfulness in this that's matte is purple. It is purple. We have a mauvey leaning shade, but yeah, I'm thinking, oh, what should we start with? Should I do a halo eye? Okay, I'm going to take a dinky brush and I'm going to go into, I'll go into Nocturnal first, which is this deeper purple at the bottom. Ooh, that picked up a lot, right. And I'm gonna tuck this shade in right on the inner corner, and I want to be careful. Like, that was already super pigmented and there's already quite a lot on there compared to how much I wanted to put down, but I'm just gonna start pressing this in to deepen up the inner corner, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the outer corner at a bit of sort of an angle, because then it kind of elongates the eye and it flatters a lot of eye shapes to do that. And usually I really do like Beauty Bay mattes. They are pigmented and blendable. I think the only Beauty Bay mattes that I didn't like were in the Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay collab palette that they did. But usually they are pretty good, especially for a more affordable type of palette. This look is going to be a trust the process look. I am going to look pretty crazy until the end and then possibly still crazy at that point too. And I'm just going to tickle on the edge with a clean brush before I go in with the next shade to blend out. Okay, then going into Last Dance, which is more of a vibrant purple. And I'm just going to run that through the crease area, just above that deeper shade that I first placed down. On the lid, they don't look that too dissimilar, but I shall continue. It would have been nice to see a really nice pastel lilac in this palette as well. Like, I love a pastel lilac in most palettes. Yeah, I think that would have just been perfect to go with this. I know that it's dark lights, but still has the word light in there. Then I think I want to go in with an even deeper shade. Yes, I know. The shade Underground, which is at the top here, I'm just going to add the teeniest, tiniest little dab of that on the very, very inner corner and the very, very outer corner. Just to see if I can build that up to make it even deeper. Okay, I think I am looking extremely dramatic right now with all of the depth and purple goodness going on. So maybe it's time for the shimmers, and there's quite a few boring shimmers in here, to be quite honest with you. There's some neutrals, which don't interest me in the slightest. These neutrals, and this one, and that one looks a bit boring to me. This one looks interesting, called Strobe, because it's got a little bit of a different shift to it. It's like a blue with a plummy peach base. Afters, what's this one like? This looks a bit marbled, but wow, that's deep. That's too deep for this look. All Nighter, I do tend to stay away from silvers in general. Until Sunrise is cute. What about Electric? Still kind of deep. Silhouettes. Considering the amount of shimmers in this palette, don't mind me, I'm just wiping my fingers off on a bit of kitchen roll. Considering the amount of shimmers in this palette, and there's a lot, there's not one that I really love. Like, the tones, I can sort of understand it, but for me personally, again, a nice lilac shimmer would have been beautiful. I don't know what my obsession is with the lilac currently, but evidently I have one. Okay, I picked up the shade Electric on my brush and I have sprayed it. So I just want to add this to the centre where I haven't got any shadow, but also still leave a little gap in the middle for an even lighter shade. Like, it would have been nice if there was an electric shade like this as a matte, you know? Oh, a chartreuse would have been beautiful in this palette. Okay, I did manage to pick this shade up on a brush and it has applied. I had no issues with that. But now I need a super light shade to go in the middle. That's too deep. So we can either do Silhouette or... Oh, the door. Yes, I just answered the door to the postman looking like this. Still with eyeshadow on my fingers, so that was fun. So what was we deciding out of? These two that look more or less the chuffing same. Right, well, we'll go with Silhouette, because why not? And I might just put this in the middle with my finger. Is this gonna work? Then add a little bit more of the electric shade to blendy and merge. And then maybe I need a little bit of a purple shimmer, just so where the purple and the electric shade meet, it's a little bit more seamless, you know? So maybe I'll take a little bit of Late Nights, which is this one down here. Late Nights, what are they? I'm too old for that. And then on the very, very edge, just merge that into the electric shade. And hopefully it will be as seamless as it can be. Are we getting the vision? Okay, let me jump off and fandangle this a little bit, stick on some lashes, put something in my waterline, and then we'll come back and we'll see if I actually like it at the end. I think that's a good plan. Could this look be more dramatic? Slightly, probably, but this is giving dramatic, deep, dark, and I think that goes with the vibe of the palette really nicely because it's dark lights, and although there is a lot of deep, deep matte on my eyelids, there is also that little sparkle on the lid of the lights. So I feel like when I get a palette like this, I like to try and go with the theme as best that I can, and I feel like this kind of look definitely does that. I mean, as you can see, the deep, deep purples are extremely pigmented, and that is how I know Beauty Bay mattes to be. They are pigmented, they are blendable, and they are buildable to a point. Usually I like to put one matte on top of another. If you try and build it up with a third or a fourth, maybe not so much. I feel like this palette is going to be for people that do like dramatic looks, dramatic makeup, and deep, dark, smoky kind of vibes, because although we do have some neutrals in this, it's predominantly deep. So unless you really like deep, dark, smoky eyeshadow, I don't think this is the one for you. However, having said that, you know, you can lighten up whatever look you are doing with the lighter shimmers for sure. You definitely don't need to go as deep, dark and dramatic as I have today, but I wanted to show you that this palette can do that and how I would, if I wasn't filming, create a look with this palette, and this is the type of thing I would do, because I tried to pick shades that were exciting to me, because there's nothing worse than trying to put a look together with shades that you don't like and are boring, and that's why I went for the purples. I mean, not that I've got a lot of choice when it comes to the mattes, but as well for the shimmer I wanted to go for electric because it's like a little bit different. It's not just one of the neutral shimmers, and for me as a colour lover, that is what makes me happy. So I feel like I've played with my favourite shades in this palette. Now if I wasn't doing a halo eye, 100,000,000%, I would have been putting base, which is the lightest matte, in my inner corner to see how pigmented it was. I definitely will do that with my next look with this palette. I don't know if I'm going to film that or just pop a look over on my Instagram. Please let me know if you would like to see any more looks with this palette, but I don't think I can get lots and lots of looks out of it just because I'm so limited on the mattes. I mean, I do like this look, but I could have easily created this look with so many more of the other palettes in my collection, and I probably could have improved upon it because I would have had more choice with different mattes and colours. However, I'm glad I've got it because, like I say, I do collect these limited edition 20 pans from Beauty Bay. It's definitely not the worst colour story that they've come out with, not by a mile, but it's definitely not among the best, which was the first few releases, to be honest. I don't actually know how many when it actually changed and switched over to the more boring, crazy, weird. However, these are just my opinions because some people might not have liked the original ones that were released and they've liked the later ones that have been released, including this one. But yeah, for me as a colour lover, I don't appreciate a palette like this as much as I do the Wilderness palette. Like even this Sleepless shade that's trying to be a little bit sort of lighter, it's a little bit muted and it's still on the deeper side. If that would have been just a really nice light lilac, that could have solved a lot of issues for me. And if we'd have changed out one of these neutrally shimmers for a light lilac shimmer, again, it just adds that little bit more versatility. And I think that's just what I'm missing from this palette. I like looks where I can do high contrast, so really, really light to really, really deep, and some nice mid-tones in the way to create a nice blend between the two. And although we do have a light shade in this and we have a lot of depth in this, the mid-tones are sort of on the deeper side. So yeah, I feel like for a smoky eye, for a halo eye, even for a more traditional Kerry look with a lighter inner corner going to a deep, you could potentially do that with the limited mattes that you've got. But overall, I think it's a little bit of a disappointment for me, but again, that's personal preference for the colour story because the actual quality of the shades that I used today, there's no issues with any of those shades whatsoever. I was able to create this look without having to fight the palette. And as for the aesthetic of the front of the palette, it's not my favourite either. I can see what they was trying to do, but I just don't think it's executed to a high enough standard that it looks good, if you know what I mean. I would be really interested to know what you think to this palette, because I know I'm not the only one that collects these palettes and has their eye on them to see if they want to pick them up. So for the people that have been collecting these and have been interested in these palettes, please let me know your thoughts on them. And just in case anybody asks, the lipstick that I am wearing today is from Cosmic Beauty and it is in the shade Nancy. This was limited edition for the Halloween box, I believe. I'm not sure if you can get this or not anymore. Possibly over on the TikTok, possibly on the website, I'm not 100% sure. But a little bit of a different aesthetic from me today, a little bit deeper, a little bit more intense. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to let me know if you'd like to see more looks with this palette, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!